Hey, Marco, we're back. Welcome to the show.
Good to see you, counselor. Happy to see you every evening at this time. What is it? 8 o'clock your time, making it 11 p.m. my time here in the DMV.
Yeah, and former British colony.
Yes, and subjugated people in this town, even though it's called, in this state, even though they do call it technically the Free State.
Yeah. Well, we enter tonight. You ready for this? We are now 16.99999999999% through the Major League Baseball 60-game tournament.
That's amazing, man. It's as close to the 17 heft as you can get mathematically. When you machined that algorithm, was smoke coming from the machine with all those nines?
Well, I have to admit that I kind of finagled this one a little bit because there's only one more game left in action tonight. The Milwaukee Brewers are up 8-2 over the White Sox. It's the top of the eighth, but when that game ends, we'll be 17% of the way through.
You can't ask anything better than the heft of a 17. You're halfway to a third.
Yeah.
At 17.
Right? So
that to me feels like something. It's not a quarter. It's not a third. It's not a half. But it's whatever halfway to a third is. And there's some math I don't feel like doing right now on that.
No. But a lot of stuff going on. We had another good day. But before we move into that, welcome to the Sticks, man.
I'm going to say 1/6.
Yeah.
It just came to me.
Your eureka moment. But you know the saying, the Sticks. You're in the Sticks. Well, I've always had a sense of what that means, but I've never known precisely what it means. So you always just throw out there, hey, you're in the Sticks, or we're in the Sticks now. So I looked it up today specifically, and the definition for the slang of in the sticks is a reference to an area where there are a lot of twigs.
Okay. That clears it up, because I can't even know where to break this down. Now, you looked at a slang and not a saying, it appears, because you said slang. So now I'm thinking medieval. You looked at the slang, and it has something to do with being in twigs. Now, I've never heard in the sticks. I've heard in the weeds when I waited for 2 weeks and down at the Inner Harbor and in Baltimore, and the manager was getting on me and trying to throw his weight around, which wasn't hard because he weighed about 400 pounds, because my sneakers or tennis shoes weren't perfectly white. And at some point I just said, hey, up yours, fat ass. And I drove cross country with my buddies and had the time of my life. But I've never heard in the weeds is when you're overwhelmed. I've never heard in the sticks.
Yeah, it always has meant boondogs or the backcountry.
Oh, sticks.
Yeah, the sticks. See,
yeah,
you've heard that.
We are in the sticks, in the backwoods.
But what it really means is removed from civilization.
Right.
So, we're picks for sticks, and I want this area, our whole community that we're building, to think of this as our place away from civilization. We are in the sticks. I welcome you to the sticks.
Yes, I like that, and feel free to cook your own bourbon.
Yeah.
Feel free to make drinks with the absinthe decanter that's right behind your beautiful head of hair.
That's right.
So
right.
We don't judge. We do not judge, because we are an open-minded backwoods civilization. We are picks for sticks, and we are in the sticks.
It's a community, man.
It is a community, and we're happy that it's growing.
Yeah.
We'd like to get some more diversity as far as males and females, but we have a few females, mostly males. But listen, ladies, picks for sticks. Just send us an email and you'll get Michael's plays. Picks, the number 4, sticks. And look, there's no negativity. There's no embarrassment towards wanting to gamble on sports.
No.
I mean, my mom took me to the track when I was a kid, and taught me how to read racing forms.
She didn't leave you there, huh?
She wanted to sometimes, but
Yeah.
I was small and I was cute, so she was a little worried that I might get taken.
You're still cute, Marco.
Old as dirt, but still cute. So what you want to give us some game action today?
Well, yeah, let's talk about the first read spot plays. 4-0, my friend.
4-0.
We hit the Angels today, the Halos over 4.5. And we put that play out, and we know some people got on it because they responded with thumbs up, thanks. But I want to reframe that entire play. Not the particular pick on the Angels, but the whole concept grew out of you challenging me during the first read to make a play on a game. And I said, that's not really how I handicap. And so I don't want to make the read on the play. But what I will do is I'll look into the game and I'll give our community a piece of action that is not going to be as good a handicapped play as what we would send out as our plays for the day. But here's the most interesting game of the day, according to Marco. And this is a play that is guaranteed to keep you in it.
Yes.
So
there were some people sweating, I noticed. They said, you kept this hanging, Driggsy.
Yeah.
But they don't realize that was part of it because they only want to get to the cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. But they know they're enjoying it.
Yeah,
they know they're enjoying hanging out there on the edge in the sticks. They know they're in the sticks. They're boiling their own bourbon. They are enjoying hanging on. And then when they get the cash, that's just icing on the bourbon.
So 4-0 with those plays, and Halos cashed that ticket today.
Or as I like to say, 4 for 4.
Yeah, 4 for 4. What we are, and we hit our 3 plays last night, so we're on a nice 7-0 stretch.
All right, so I could piggyback an ahoy from that because it piggybacks, or you could do some other game action.
No, let's do right into the ahoy hoys. The games are limited. Atlanta beat Toronto, so Pearson takes a I don't know what he did. He didn't take the loss, so he was probably. I just haven't caught up with these games, but I did see Pittsburgh got 2 in the bottom of the 9th to beat Minnesota today, so that was good. We had no other action. We just got in and out with the Halos.
Yeah, and of course the Orioles looked every bit their 26 power ranking that I got so furious about with errors and just not a very good team. And I looked for an Eddie Alvarez today, the guy that started his career at 26 or 28 years old and was an ice skater, and now he is 30 years old and he's playing Major League Baseball for the first time. But he didn't play today.
No, Eddie Alvarez remains 0 for 5.
But he could skate like the wind.
That's right.
So I want to do an ahoy hoy to a new subscriber and a new gentleman that's on our list. Ahoy hoy, Kevin Courts. Now, for full disclosure, I know Kevin when I used to live in California. He's a very well-known attorney, very good at what he does. And we had worked together on a case where it was such a big case, and it was a big corporation. I can't tell you too many details, but there were a group of attorneys basically piled in one room, pre-COVID, and then anyways, it was 80 hours a week we were doing. We were all in one room. Sometimes you'd get silly, so I enjoyed hanging out with this Kevin Courts and talking about gambling and women, 2 things that you shouldn't necessarily talk about when you're working on a corporate case. But nevertheless, he joined our list, and today he made his first play, and I'm just happy to say that because he is a good guy. little bit eccentric. One time,
Good.
as the project was about to end, he just asked me out of a blue if I want to go span the height of Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania with him. And this is a true story. I'm not going to raise my hand like Don Rickles circa 1977, but this is a true story. And I looked at him and I said, KQ, because that was hip. KQ. I said, we've been working 80-hour weeks for 6 months. I go home every night and smoke weed. Weed is legal in California. I go home every night and smoke weed and drink beer. Do I look like I'm in any kind of shape to scan the span of almost 20,000 feet? But, he was persistent. I don't know if he knew that there were a variety of 7 different peaks. I don't know if he knew that it claimed the lives of tens of thousands. I don't know if he knew that even in the hot of the summer, there was impenetrable glaciers. But what he did know is that he wasn't going to take no for an answer. So I finally called his bluff. And I said, you get me a parka, you get me some ice picks, and you get me some snowshoes, and I'm in. I didn't get any of that, and I didn't hear any more. But I just want to say ahoy hoy, Kevin Quartz. That was a good W for you today. You're on the list, so you'll get our picks every day, and I hope your winning streak is as robust as your climbing prowess.
Count me out of that trip. I want no part of it. Parkas, beef jerky, or
20,000 feet.
20,000 feet.
The 4th largest peak on the planet, by the way.
No part.
I didn't mention that already.
No part of that.
He was eccentric, but a good attorney, and still a good attorney, and probably still eccentric, and a robust gambler that is part of our community in the sticks.
Par excellence. So I have an ahoy hoy, whatever the hell. I got an ahoy hoy for our guest handicapper, BD. Dale. Got Dale. He texted in today that he is on his own personal 6-game winning streak. So Dale, you keep up those picks. There'll be a few more days ahead, maybe into next week, where I'm just not going to have the time or focus, but be ready to jump back up and substitute as needed. But let me tell you something about our guest handicapper, Dale. So we got Dale a position. He was hired to teach at this school. So great job. But it's interesting because, when they hire teachers, you have to get fingerprinted. You got to get your fingerprints. Make sure you're not a criminal, pedophile, or otherwise ne'er-do-well. And so,
can I interrupt you real quick?
Yes.
You can't be a regular pedophile. You can't be a criminal pedophile. You said that's one word, but let's also say you can't be either a regular pedophile either.
Any kind.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure because that kind of rolled together. I don't want to get in any legal trouble. You can't be any kind of pedophile
At all.
You can't be a criminal pedophile or any kind of pedophile. Okay.
So the school district runs fingerprints to before anybody can be given a classroom. Now, the thing is, though, that we are starting in another week, but his appointment is like 8, 9, 10 days out just to get the fingerprints. And so he's a little concerned about when he can get fingerprinted and when he's going to start. And I had the perfect solution. I'm like, dude, just go get arrested tonight. They'll fingerprint you on the spot.
Such good advice from a mentor to a mentee.
This is what we do, overcome obstacles. So
we're in the sticks, and
we're in the sticks.
And we're in the winds. We're in the winds.
So
did you talk about scheduling at all and all these double headers? And I think you wanted to talk about the Marlins in September.
I do. The Marlins in September. So we're playing Manfred ball here, and this yeah. And so the schedule updates have come out for the Marlins. So the Marlins have they won today 8-7. So they can win,
Yeah, I know.
right?
That
They can
great.
win 1-0, 2-1, or 8-7 games, right? They beat Philadelphia with
There's
11 runs one game. They're 5-1, Marco.
they're 5-1 or 6-1 after today.
This will make them 6-1 today.
Yeah.
So things are going to get a little snarky for the Marlins, though. They've they've had to overhaul their roster to a large degree. Even had to bring in Olympic speed skaters, but
Who never played since the age of 28 when people start to begin their decline, when they're at their peak and begin their decline. He didn't even start. His first game is in the majors at 30, but he remains 0 for 5. So maybe the baseball gods aren't too happy about the mockery that is. I mean, sometimes the baseball gods have to draw the line, but that's enough from me.
So they'll be playing. This is where it's going to get a little quirky for them. They'll be playing 5 extra double headers in late August and all of September to make up for the series of missed games last week. 4 of them come in the span of only 10 days. So this is what they're looking like. I broke it down. The Miami Marlins will now conclude the 2020 regular season with 27 games over the final 23 days, which include no off days and 4 double headers in a 10-day span. That's Manfred ball. And all of that is how it will play out, provided that they're fortunate enough not to have another outbreak.
Wow, that's amazing how you laid that out, machine that. But we're not playing bonus baseball. We're not playing season baseball. We're playing Manfred baseball, and it's delightful. But when you go through that schedule, and I know that there's all kinds of double headers that are 2 weeks from now, as far as September, homes and away double headers, and it just makes my head spin like a dervish. Wait a minute. Do dervishes spin naturally, or do you always have to put whirling in front of dervish?
The spin is a whirl. Otherwise, it's just a spin.
No. The dervish. Whirling dervish is the saying.
Yes.
But I'm saying, do dervishes naturally whirl? Do they naturally spin? Or do you have to say whirling dervish? Or if they do naturally spin, in the opposite of what I'm trying to say is, if you say whirling dervish, are you being redundant?
No.
Okay, let's move on.
Because we've seen, right? Don't the Dodgers have Yu Darvish on the mound? And he's not whirling.
I think he's on Chicago, and
Chicago.
He's whirling, and he whirled it pretty well yesterday.
Yeah.
So somebody write in and let us know if dervishes naturally whirl, and if they don't, then you do have to say whirling dervish to indicate spinning. And if they do naturally whirl, then everyone who says whirling dervish is being redundant. We just want to clear that up. Please write in, anybody, even Kevin Courts. So what else do we want to talk about? You did your ahoy hoy, and
Yeah.
Do you want to get right into your polemics?
Well, sure. So the Angel game was exciting, not only because it brought in a winner for us tonight, but who do you think was the hero of that game, my friend?
Yeah, nobody knows Stassi. That's what I like to call him. But I mean, Bundy pitched a complete game. He's the hero. Who pitches complete games anymore? But Stassi hit that home run, and I like to call him. Nobody knows who Stassi is.
He's not the hero. He just
the hero is pitching 9-inning complete game. I call him Bundy the Bull. I've always called him Bundy the Bull.
Yeah, complete game win. The homer that Stassi hit came when
I got confused. I was thinking hero of the play, not hero of the game, because the game was already out of sight. It was 4-1. I was thinking hero of the play because I wanted to get the play in. But of course, the hero is Bundy. And what do you have? 1 earned run, 7 strikeouts, kept them confused all day, and pitched. Who pitched? 107 pitches. I remember 107 pitches. He did work up a little bit of a sweat, but he wasn't huffing and puffing. He's a real pitcher.
Yep.
He's not blowing it by people. He's a real pitcher.
So if you were writing this recap of the game, how might you start as a former journalist?
I would start that despite a slow start for the Angels, their bull, their number one ace in their starting rotation, Bundy, came through again and pitched a complete game, the first one of the season, and 7 strikeouts in 107 pitches, 9 full innings. It would be much smoother than that, but it would be like
But
that.
that's how you would start. That's how you would get into it. So the writer for it doesn't matter who he is. If he was Helene Elliott, we would talk about him personally. But this is how he begins his write-up of this Angel game. Shohei Ohtani proved that injury will not keep him from. That will keep him from pitching in 2020. Doesn't affect his hitting, as he connected on a solo homer in his first at bat since being diagnosed with a strained flexor rotator mass, blah 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 blah, in his right forearm. That's the opening full paragraph.
And he tried to squeeze that all into one run-on sentence, even not even the right lead, because the lead should be Bundy, obviously.
The next paragraph is complimented by Dylan Bundy. Ohtani sparked the Angels to a 6-1 win.
Right. That's amazing.
Come on.
Are you kidding me?
Well, little.
He really said, he just threw Bundy in there as a compliment to a guy that hit a solo home run? When was the last time this is the first complete game of the year. When was the last time someone even pitched a complete game?
Well, Kyle Hendricks had a complete game show.
Oh, he had a complete game earlier in the year.
And there's been a couple others.
Don't come to me for stats. You know I'm not the stat guy. We'll cut this out. Go ahead.
Isn't this outrageous?
It is outrageous.
This is unbelievable. This is the perspective that Ohtani is the lead. This is the lead. No wonder these guys, these hitters, will not lay down a bunt to move the guy to third. It's just, you're not going to get any. You just need to hit a home run.
You're not. But you shouldn't have Moreno writing the articles, Arte. He spent a lot of money on Ohtani. He wants to put them in. He wants to write him in the lead. So Arte Moreno wrote that article, right? Because you didn't want to give that out. The owner.
I think his name was Bollinger. It got cut off where I drew that.
That doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, it's a rare thing. This whole season tournament is unusual. And people, it's early. I mean, hardly anybody this time of year would be this early in a tournament or a season would be pitching complete games. And, bullpens are fresh. But, it shows that he did something that was not only great, it's his third start. He's been incredibly consistent. His ERA is, I think, at 2.26 or something like that.
Yeah.
And that is something that is astounding in a season, in Manfred ball, in bonus baseball, and in a tournament. And just to put it as an aside, that he was a compliment to a guy that hit a solo homer in a game that where home runs keep going up every year. Yeah. Is silliness. And I'm going to write a letter to Arte Moreno.
His ERA is at 2.08.
2.08. So I was close, but I'm not the stat guy, but at least I was a little closer that time.
I got something to show you.
All right.
Can you see this? It's maybe tough to read, but these are our new postcards.
Oh yeah.
These are the thanks for watching Picks for Sticks. And then
I saw them earlier at the meeting, and they look really nice.
Our postcards have come in, so be on the lookout for those. Those go to VIPs. VIPs get the
people who get prizes, right? When we break promises.
Yeah.
But they have to write in to get the prize or the recipes.
Yeah.
So let's also talk about. Okay, that was a good polemics. Can you go right into first reads and bring us home, or do you need a break?
Why don't you?
I could do. I mean, I could talk about. If you're not ready for first things, I just want to know. I mean, are these still things? I mean, like, are they still doing instant replay? Why are they doing instant replay? Look, not everything hangs in the balance. It's a fun tournament. Everybody's enjoying themselves. The baseball games translate beautifully on TV with the piped in sound, but do we really need to do instant replay? It's exciting to let the ump make the call and do the who and do the ha, get rid of instant replay. Maybe, just maybe bring it back for the World Series, but do not use instant replay. These games are moving, they're moving along, and schedules are backed up. Why is instant replay still a thing? If you have comments, you could comment. How is Chris Davis still a thing? Why is he on a team that is so buried in building up, which is great? I'm happy. I mean, I looked at their farm system. They're, according to the MLB.com, they have the 10th best rated farm system right now, with a lot of these guys.
There is no system anymore. We know.
No, I know, but I mean, the way they rate,
it's just a farm.
It's just a farm. It's not a system, but prospects. These are how the prospects. They got like the 10th best power rating of prospects, whatever that means. It's a lot better than when they were 22, 23, 24. Why is Chris Davis still a thing? I'm asking you that because they got this kid Mountcastle that's ready to come up. They got this guy Ruiz who was playing, great coming in for Rios. So why is Chris Davis still a thing? And crowd attendance has been consistent. The cardboard cutouts are still a thing, and I'm happy to see that. I've gotten used to it. It's amazing what you get used to. But
do you know anyone who has a cardboard cutout? I was watching a game the other day. And right there, I'm all, that's Jack! Jack! Sitting right there in the stands. So I gave Jack a call because it was the Cardinal game. And Jack is a Dodger fan. He lives in LA. I'm all, Jack, dude, I'm watching the Cardinals. Let me change that. It wasn't the Cardinals because they're not playing. So Tampa Bay. So Jack, I'm watching Tampa Bay. And there's Jack. I'm all, Jack, what are you doing in Tampa Bay? And he's like, yeah, I saw your show, and you were talking about how crappy the Tampa Bay cutouts were. And so I looked into it, and they were like 25% cheaper than all the other cardboard cutouts. So he got himself a Tampa Bay cardboard cutout.
All right. Here's the Jack and frugality these days, man.
Do you know anybody who has a cardboard cutout?
I don't know anyone that has a cardboard cutout. I'm interested in getting a look after the show at Jack's. And I'm wondering if he's going to take it upon himself to maybe mold it and make it look a little better. But you noticed the likeness right away.
Oh yeah, it was Jack. But we will give a prize to any one of our viewers who supports a cardboard cutout of us at any stadium.
I would love that. Yes. Anyone want to put out some cardboard cutouts of Marco and Driggs? From Picks for Sticks, and I would love it to say, hey, we're in the sticks right there on the cutouts, man. But that's all I have right now for Still a Thing. So we'll close that up and let's go right to first reads if you think you can pull it off.
Sure. It's a full slate tomorrow, so I'll move a little bit quicker through it. I just pulled up the screen, and the beauty of the first reads for those who are not familiar with the segment is it's just the way I handicap in preparation to handicap. And so one of the things we do as handicappers is we examine the next day's action in a perspective that frames the games in order to then dig a little deeper. And so this is just a window into my personal psychology. I really try to stay the night ahead of the games, even though sometimes you need to look a day or two ahead for perspective of when a team is traveling or where they're coming from or who's pitching next. But basically, it's mostly just what is on tap for tomorrow. So,
all right.
Yeah. So we hit an interesting day of the week, which is Friday. So Friday is usually the first day of the series, of a new series, and you usually have teams traveling overnight tonight. Some teams are home and they have a team coming in, or teams are traveling and they're getting into hotels overnight and then to the park the next day. And so Thursday is a travel day, Thursday night's a travel night, and it sets up for fresh series on Friday. And it's just a really cool way to think about it instead of just opening up the box scores or the games on the next day and just, hey, there's two teams that are just playing.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, these are people, and you have to handicap how that all affects them. The first game is Baltimore and Washington. So Baltimore hits the road. I think they left a little early before this game ended today. They just got a head start. They head to Washington.
To go that 45 miles.
It's not a far away trip, but they're probably I don't know. What do you think? Do you think they're taking a bus or taking a flight? How do you get to Washington, Marco?
I think that. I think they're going to be. I think they're going to sleep in their own homes. It's a game. It's an evening game, right?
It's yeah. They'll probably be at the park by noon.
Yeah. So I think they're going to sleep in their own homes, and if they're smart, they're going to dress in full cleats, eye black, and spikes and eye black. Well, I wear sandals and just have my spikes around my neck. They get fully dressed in their uniform, and they would roll into the stadium around noon, and I wouldn't touch the clubhouse at all. No, they're going to sleep in their own homes, of course, and they're going to drive their cars. There's not much. I mean, there's people are on the road, but you're not seeing the kind of traffic you would normally see, and they're going to just cruise in. It's going to take an hour or less for them to get there, and so they get up, relax, and take a nice little cruise and whatever beautiful sports car they have, and hit the game.
So that'll make for an interesting weekend series, because that means after the game they got to drive home instead of just 10 minutes to the hotel. And Washington obviously at home, but they've been at home, so they're hanging around. But both teams below 500. Washington a slow start, but they can get to 500 tomorrow. They should be taking money, but even though they had an off day today, their pitcher is still to be determined. So a lot of odd things with that game tomorrow. Meanwhile,
it's an odd game.
Another earlier start before 7 p.m. is Tampa Bay. So the Yankees just lost tonight in a tight one. They made it tight down the stretch to Philadelphia.
Philly.
Yeah. So the Yankees now 9-3 head down to Tampa Bay to face the 5-7 Tampa Bay club. Tampa Bay is now at home, and it's Tanaka against Snell. So Snell obviously is a lefty. Tampa Bay, can they take 2 or 3 at home from New York to get near 500? But tomorrow, Snell, I mean, is he going to give you more than 3 innings? So a lot of things hinging on Tampa Bay for tomorrow. You got Snell, you'll get a good 3-4 innings. Is he going to give you a 5? Tanaka, very hittable, has always been hittable. But the Yankees now they're due kind of for some losses. But if you're getting on Tampa Bay, you're going to have to handicap that mid-pen and that back-end pen. Everything is setting up there for like a Yankee 6-run 8th or something, like being down 5-2 and winning 7-6. And so that's tough. But let's move a little bit quicker through these games. Detroit and Pittsburgh. Okay. Yes.
No, I said okay. Yeah, let's move a little quicker.
So Pittsburgh had a nice bottom of the 9th comeback today, and they stay at home. They did that against Minnesota. Detroit gets to play baseball again, and right. But the
young Titans,
right? They're down to 500, so they're even. Pittsburgh may be just what they ordered. So Detroit, who'd been got off to such a good start, and then they struggled, and then they couldn't play because the team they were playing against had a COVID outbreak. So they've been sidelined, waiting to play, and now they're ready to play. They got to Pittsburgh, and they can't figure out who's going to pitch for them tomorrow. So it's like
the most bizarre thing is they get all that time off and then they can't get their rotation in order.
Right. But we're seeing that a lot this year. Philadelphia, having just played about 14 games against the Yankees, I couldn't keep track. Some were double headers that were at home and away and home again. They close out the series with a win against the Yankees, and I think they split that series 2.5 to 2.5. Not sure how that came out, but they're only 3-4. They get Atlanta, who has to travel tonight. So Atlanta playing at home today with the win over Toronto, travels to Philadelphia. Not a long flight, but they're traveling to Philadelphia, who played today as well, but is at home. And a really interesting pitching matchup tomorrow, right against Velasquez. And these guys have just been hit all over the place. So are we going to see some Friday night fireworks in Atlanta, Philadelphia? The first read leans towards an over there, but don't know how the pitchers match up against these particular offenses. The Mets.
Who are the pitchers in the Atlanta-Philly game?
It's right against Velasquez.
Who?
Right
against Velasquez?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
Miami keeps on trucking, man. They head to the New York Mets. It's like after destroying Philadelphia, who wasn't ready for them, then getting a week and change off, and then getting to face Baltimore, who was just ready to collapse, they now get to face the New York Mets, who, what the hell, this team is psychotic. Well, whatever's going on with them, they're 5-8. It's like Miami, could the scheduling have worked any better for them? Miami had better win all these games now because of what we see is going to happen to their schedule at the end of the year. So,
and the irony there is that's when Mattingly will finally know his roster.
Right. And so,
all right. So let's so we got to get some night games in here. We got go ahead.
And
late games in.
Right, Toronto gets to go against Boston. Boston throwing Weber, who has a 12 ERA. Rourke is going for Toronto. This may be what Toronto needs. So they fly into Boston. Minnesota and Kansas City. Kansas City, their bats were hot tonight. Minnesota, just on the road, is traveling. They take their 10-3 record into the 4-10 Kansas City ballpark. And Junis gets to go. Interesting character. He had COVID to start the year and has already made one start. He started a little late against Smeltzer for Minnesota, and he's been tagged in his outing so far. In the Chicago White Sox game, as we continue through the Midwest, Cleveland, which has had their bats come to life, and boom, that just if their bats are on, they win because their pitching is so good. So the Chicago, are the White Sox, are they going to be able to be consistent? This is a big series for them. They want to contend. They want to fight. They're supposed to have a potent offense. What can they do against these Cleveland pitchers? So Cavalli against Case. I don't know how you say these guys' names. I don't listen to these announcers. I watch it on mute, so I try to read that. You should hear.
How are you going to say Schmarz's name? I think he's pitching tomorrow.
Yeah.
How do you say Schmarz's name?
We'll see when I get there. So that's a really interesting matchup. The Tribe against the White Sox in a kind of crucial situation with certainly the pitching matchup favoring Cleveland, but the hitting matchup favoring the White Sox, although the White Sox have not performed offensively up to what has been expected of them.
Yeah, strange.
Cincinnati gets to go behind Bauer. Remember, Bauer, the last time he took the mound, was furious that they delayed the game just before it started, and was so furious that overnight he got even angrier, and the next day pitched the second part of the doubleheader and threw like a 1 or 2 hitter, whatever it was. So he goes tomorrow with his .68 ERA into Milwaukee, who Milwaukee is trying to close out the White Sox tonight at 8-3. The White Sox are already thinking about tomorrow's game against Cleveland, and they get to host Milwaukee gets to host Cincinnati. Cincinnati and Milwaukee, two teams struggling to stay relevant. They're right on the borderline there. Now, St. Louis suits up tomorrow. Remember, they still had a ball club. Yep.
I forgot that they did. Yes.
Yeah. So they're at home. They take their 2-3 record. This is so funny. They take their 2-3 record against the 10-3 record of the Chicago Cubs. 10-3 against 2-3.
Yeah. It's the beauty of the tournament, man. It'll make your head spin like a whirling dervish, or just like a dervish. We'll find out. We're waiting for that.
So Leicester against Ponce de Leon. It's quite a matchup of guys who have been just really, really effective. So the Angels, off their win tonight, are 5-8, and this is a team that has to beat teams that they are better than. They can't be losing games, and already having lost home games to Seattle earlier in the season, they find themselves at 5-8, and now they go face the 3-8 Rangers in Texas. So Canning gets to go against Lyles. And the question is, are the Rangers effective enough to just be a spoiler against these mid-tier teams that are trying to just kind of get to 28 wins to get into the playoffs?
Right.
The way the Angels get to 28 wins is if they win these series. And they really need a sweep of a team like Texas, but a road sweep is tough. So they're probably best case scenario winning 2 or 3 games, and tomorrow they go with Canning. But the Angels played today. They had their big win, their offensive explosion. Are they able to be consistent offensively? Canning, here's a guy who pitched beautifully last outing. Can he be consistent? This is the difference between these 500 ball clubs, these teams just under 500, and teams who are winners. And it's just consistency at this major league level. And the bottom line is most players are not. They just aren't consistent at the major league level. And you tend to be successful betting against teams like the Angels in a spot like this. They travel overnight. They got the win. But this game tomorrow requires them to be consistent. And then the question then is,
that's the open question,
right? Is Texas competent enough to effectuate the inconsistency? You know, if they were against a team like Colorado or San Diego, the Angels, they don't win those. But is Texas bad enough that this is just what the Angels need? So we'll have to look a little deeper into that with the capping tomorrow, but that's a game I plan to dig into. Oakland and Houston, Greinke against Bassett. These are teams who are fighting to win the West. So Houston has been struggling offensively. Altuve is down to like 120, 125. I heard somebody make the comment, I don't remember who, pitchers are going to start taunting him by telling him what pitch they're going to throw. So their offense has been
we'll attribute that on the next show. We'll give the right attribution to that.
Yeah, I don't recall who said that, but that wasn't me. But I did think it was worthy of expressing. So they're only at 500, and Oakland is starting to pull away. So Oakland at home, but the last time we went against Greinke, my handicapping was that he was just ready to be roughed up. Just all the chips were pointing to I don't recall whoever it was knocking him around a little bit just to get.
Did he get knocked around?
No, he threw a perfect game through 6.
Oh, wow.
6. The perfect game for 6 innings, and then.
So this might be a game you stay away from because it kind of tripped you up last time.
Well, I don't know if that's reason to you don't analyze with fear. You just recognize what the situation was, but you also don't come back and go, he's getting bombed this time. But
right.
But I don't understand really what Greinke is this year. He's been a little bit inconsistent. We know he's lost a little touch. He's lost a little bit of speed off his fastball, but didn't really have a lot of speed this last year. So I don't know. We gotta look a little bit more in depth. But you're probably right. That's probably a game to just watch and get a better read of Greinke and see what Oakland does against the top team. Arizona, San Diego, they meet again. What a great series it was in the last time they met last weekend. Weaver against Davies. These young pitchers for San Diego are reaching an interesting stretch. They've been pretty good, but are they going to be able to be consistent? And now this is the second time that they're facing Arizona. So Davies has had a good start and a slow start. He he's one of these guys who changes teams and seems to be in greener pastures. So interesting to see what's going on there. 2 more games on the slate. Colorado against Seattle. 2 teams headed in different directions, but Colorado on the road against the bats at Seattle. Senzatella against Kikuchi. I'm always convinced every major league team is going to score 20 runs off of Kikuchi, but Senzatella has pitched above his head so far. And then the final game tomorrow, your favorite pitcher, Smarja.
I think it's Smarja.
Smarja against Urias.
The unpronounceable matchup. What do you think about that game? I like that Smarja.
Sure. He's an interesting character. He gets, he was at one point
ground ball pitcher.
What?
He's a ground ball pitcher.
Yeah, except when they're tagging him for home runs.
I had to give you that one.
Well, he's just, at one point in his career, he was an elite pitcher, but he hasn't really learned how to become crafty. Like Keuchel is now a crafty lefty.
Bundy might have learned that.
What's
how
that?
To be a crafty. Bundy's probably in the process of learning how to be a crafty pitcher.
Yeah, but Smarja, a hard-throwing righty, has to become a crafty lefty to be successful tomorrow against the Dodgers. That's his
All right, man. I got my pick, man. You want to hear my first read spot play?
I do. What are we going on?
Where I force Mike to make a play on a game. He's got no choice. He will think about it. He will mull it, and he will make a decision. I'm very interested in these Phillies going to Atlanta. I'm very interested in that game. I like the fact that Philly beat New York, but are they going to come in there cocky and hit a buzzsaw? I'm leaning towards Atlanta in that because they play so well. They're a more interesting team. They're at home. I think Philly's going to have a little false sense of self-confidence, but they could also take that momentum in there, and this could be one of those good games, 7-6, kind of like some runs put up, I think.
Such an interesting game. When you look a little deeper into these pitchers, they've been knocked around. Kyle Wright is coming in with an almost 8 ERA. Velasquez with the 12. These guys are major league pitchers, and just like we talked about the Angels that tend to regress towards inconsistency, these are still major league pitchers on very good teams. Philadelphia is supposed to be competitive. Atlanta is a top team. And both of these pitchers have done worse than what they should. So are they going to, what's the opposite of regress? Just
progress.
Are they going to progress to their mean? And so I'm telling you, I'm really grateful that you picked this game because I really want to look into it. And first indications are that there's going to be a lot of runs. That I think I even said fireworks in Atlanta. I want to see what the over/under is in this, and even if you do jump on an under, thinking an under thinking these guys are going to progress and have better outings, they probably aren't going to go too deep into the game. So what's the over/under looking at? I'm going to guess it's 9. It's 9.5. It's 9.5 right now. So a lot of really cool stuff to look at. If you want,
I think the way you laid it out and the fireworks and my neighbor Mark being a big Atlanta fan, just again, this is one of those emotional picks, the way you laid it out. And I don't know, I got a little maybe chip on my shoulder about Philly. I'm not a big Philly guy, and and I'm not a Yankee guy either, of course. But I think they could walk into Atlanta cocky because they beat New York tonight, and I think that they could get pounded around a little. But I do, like I said, I think you could see one of those fun games, 6-5, 7-6, 8-7, something like that. But let's wrap it up, man. It's getting late here in the DMV. That was a really, really great first read, and informative and very detailed. So Michael's going to do handicapping. Look at your emails, get on that picks for sticks, and you will get all his plays for free. And I guarantee you will get our first read spot play, which will be his analysis and how to bet on the Philly at Atlanta game. And we are 16.99999% through the tournament.
17.
We're 17%. There was a game just completed. I figured out that 17 was about half of a third of the season, which I later figured out was about 1/6 of the tournament has been complete. So I'm having fun. My Orioles are not looking so good, but our plays are looking sweet. If you're living in the sticks, you are living in the dough. So I'm going to say good night to you, Michael. Great first read, great show, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Right on. See you tomorrow night, Marco.
Good night.